सेकंड या थर्ड रो में कहीं पे था
वो एमए
और
इकोनॉमिक्स के बच्चे थे।
जो फ्रंट में बैठे हुए थे।
हाँ, वो अभी मूव आउट हुए हैं ना।
पता नहीं
F3
एक्चुअली वो
F4
उसने सफाई वाले ने उठा के दिया मेरे को अभी। अब बच्चे सब निकल गए यहाँ से, फ़ोन मिल गया शायद जेब में होगा या कैसे रह गया सीट पे। कॉल अगर आ जाती किसी की तो अब वो सिग्नल नहीं है, कॉल भी नहीं कर पाएगा अभी।
पेरेंट्स सेटल नहीं हो पा रहे हैं यहाँ, ये नहीं हो पा रहे, पेरेंट्स भी खड़े हुए बाहर, जैसे चेयर्स लगवा रहे हैं अभी।
ये लोग खड़े क्यों हैं पीछे? जगह नहीं होगी। अगर 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 जगह नहीं है तो इनको
वीकेंड ले जाएंगे यहाँ से, वीकेंड
नहीं, ज़्यादा खाली हो जाएगा।
बस ये तो सारा MBA ही दिख रहा है,
नहीं
MBA फुल
ये
टाइम
लोग
है।
जो खड़े हैं, ये लोग कौन है?
वो देखो कुछ कुछ चेयर है, बैठते क्यों नहीं है ये? मनोज, ये मिस्ट्री ओके।
नहीं, यहाँ अलाउड नहीं। अच्छा, वो वहाँ बैठे हैं, स्टेयर्स पे बैठे हैं, अलाउ करना है?
हाँ हाँ, स्टेयर पे क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
ठीक है, वहाँ पेरेंट्स ही बैठे हैं शायद।
पेरेंट्स को तो बिल्कुल अलाउड नहीं है, कौन से पेरेंट्स हैं?
हेलो हेलो हेलो।
Students, please settle down. Please take your seats. Few announcements before we start the program. I would request all of you to stand as the academic procession enters the auditorium and to remain standing for the national anthem. And I also request all of you to please switch off your phone or put it on silent mode. All of you, please put your phone in silent mode.
बाहर ही ये कर खाली ना
Sarabjit Jena, are you there? You are All of you, please sit down in the back. Please settle down fast.
स्विच ऑफ करा दो।
The academic procession is about to enter, so please, all of you, maintain silence. Please put your phone in the silent mode, all of you, all the students. Please maintain silence.
बुके दे दिया तो उसके साथ ही आ जाना इधर क्या? बता दो।
We request the dignitaries and the audience to remain standing for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय
request all to be kindly seated. On the occasion of the 55th Convocation of Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, it is my privilege to welcome the distinguished dignitaries. Esteemed Chief Guest, Shri Piyush Goyal ji, Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry, Consumer Affairs, and Food and Public Distribution and Textiles, respected Chancellor of IIFT, Shri BVR Subramaniam ji, Commerce Secretary, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Professor Manoj Pant, Vice Chancellor IIFT, Professor Bhatia, Dean Academic Administration, Professor K. Rangarajan, Head IIFT's Kolkata Center, Professor Rastogi, Head Graduate Studies in Management Division, respected Head of all the divisions, special invited guests, faculty members, members from the administration, alumni, students of IIFT, their parents and family members, and members of the media. A very good evening to one and all. It is indeed an honor to have all of you here with us today for IIFT's 55th Convocation on this day, August 23rd, 2022. Before we proceed any further, I would first of all like to request Ms. Bhavya to welcome our Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Piyush Goyal ji, with a bouquet. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Bhavya. I request Ms. Sadhvi to welcome Chancellor IIFT, Shri BVR Subramaniam ji, with a bouquet. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sadhvi. I request Ayushi to welcome our Vice Chancellor IIFT, Professor Manoj Pant, with a bouquet. I would now request our Vice Chancellor to honor the Chief Guest and the Chancellor with souvenirs. I would now request all the dignitaries to step forward to kindly light the ceremonial lamp. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sirs. Now, I would request Head of IIFT's Graduate Studies in Management Division, Professor Rastogi, to kindly welcome the guest and seek Chancellor's permission to start the convocation proceedings.
Thank you, Arunima. Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Piyush Goyal ji, our own Chancellor, Shri Subramaniam ji, our Vice Chancellor, Professor Pant, Dr. Bhatia, Dr. Rangarajan, all the respected faculty members of IIFT, special invited guests, administration staff, alumni, the graduating students and their proud parents, and media, I welcome you all to the 55th Convocation of IIFT. This is a very special convocation because this year we are celebrating our 60th year of establishment. So we are celebrating the Diamond Jubilee. To start the proceedings of the 55th Convocation, I seek the permission from the Chancellor to start the proceedings, sir. May I? Thank you, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Let me now introduce you to the Vice Chancellor of IIFT, Professor Manoj Pant. Professor Pant is a distinguished and internationally acclaimed academician and economist specializing in international trade theory, foreign investment, competition policy, and the WTO. He is the recipient of prestigious Fulbright Scholarship and holds a PhD in economics from the Southern Methodist University, Dallas, US. For the last 4 decades, Professor Pant has been a distinguished faculty in several institutes of global repute. He has also been associated with various projects and at national and international level. We now request our Vice Chancellor, Professor Pant, for his welcome address and to present the Vice Chancellor's report. Sir.
Thank you, Arunima. Welcome to the Minister, Honorable Minister, Mr. Goyal, Commerce Secretary and Chancellor, Mr. Subramaniam, others on the dais, members of the BOM of IIFT, invited guests, students, faculty and staff, and Calcutta. Also welcome to all the proud parents I know are sitting outside, and also welcome to the many alumni I know are watching this on streaming services, both Delhi and abroad. I also want to take this time to introduce you to the newest members of the faculty of the IIFT family, the staff and faculty of IIFT Kakinada, which will be on stream from September first week when we start the courses, and they are online. So I think you can see them, they are sitting there. The faculty is there, we have a few faculty, we have students and the staff. We expect to start the program in early September. Now, I have been given, according to the notice, 6 minutes to speak. How you can ask an academic to speak for 6 minutes is beyond me, but I'll try my best. I know the minister's time is very precious. What I'll do is I'll take this time to sort of summarize what we have achieved. As many of you know, my term as the head of IIFT is also coming to an end very soon. And I'll try and summarize what we've done and where IIFT is today and where it should try to go in future. In placements, we are doing as well as ever, 100% placement with roughly 20-25% increase over previous years with the CTC of about 20 lakhs. Over 125 companies come every year. Student strength in both campuses is now around 430, starting from about 285 when we started. We now have reached the maximum as a residential campus in terms of students, but hopefully with the Medangiri campus coming on stream in the next 2 years and also intake increasing in the Kakinada campus, we should be increasing over time. Roughly about 1,000 students now are there, both in the part-time, full-time MBA and the executive programs. Calcutta now, which was a small place when I joined, is now as big as Delhi in terms of the earning and the resources. So, that's a big step forward. Now, what have we achieved? International accreditation, very critical for an institution like IIFT. We obtained the AACSB accreditation last year, November 21, which is given to us after a fairly tortuous 5 years. It's a long process. We have filed for AMBA, which should be coming next year. We've also applied for EQUUS, and when we achieve that, maybe by end of next year, early 24, I think we'll be probably the only institution in the country to have achieved all three accreditations. These will be critical whenever you start thinking in terms of international collaborations. Now, one good way to look at the report card is through some of the rating agencies, and I will use NIRF, which is fairly well known now. And I'll give you a few summary statistics. I don't have the details here. From about 32 position about 5 years ago, we went to 25 last year, and this year we went down to 24. So we improved one every year. In fact, if you look at the NIRF for 21, almost every metric we have improved. Every single metric we have improved as compared to last year, except in two areas. And those two areas are faculty-student ratio and financial resource utilization. The first is because we maxed out on our faculty positions. We don't have any. So we cannot hire any more faculty. That should be able to set that right soon. And the other, of course, is I think IIFT is going to have to get a lot more innovative, a lot more inventive in terms of new programs and start spending some of the money it earns. Now, one of my primary objectives, frankly, that is what I was asked to join IIFT for, was to build a research program. And let me give you a few quick figures on that. Based on the incentive system which we adopted, just like most of the other IIMs, the number of, we have now over 340 publications in various journals, only of the ABDC category. We don't list smaller categories. The PhD program, which was almost non-existent when I came, now has about 185 students, and 51 degrees are now granted in the areas of management and economics. We are now bidding for research projects, not only with ministries, but also with the private sector. I myself am leading 2 projects on their request, one for PayPal and one for Flipkart. So we are looking at the private sector too, not relying only on the government. Now, finally, on the research front, this is reflected in all the 3 metrics which are there in NIRF on the research. We are up by about 33%. Now, I also did, as I did last year, I said, let me look at another metric which is worth looking at, very important for students, placement, etc., is the perception. What is the perception of the stakeholders, firms, students, etc., of IIFT? We were at 16 last year of all the institutions. We are now up to 11 this year. Now, this actually should be much higher. Now, I was wondering why, when we do so well on the research front, it's not reflecting in our NIRF rankings. This is a statistical problem, that the NIRF has outsourced its method of getting publications to an outside agency, which now looks at a source for that, which is something all faculty in IIFT don't register on. That is either Scopus or ORCID. And as a consequence, the IITs and the IIMs are very smart. Last year, they insisted that all their faculty list on that. So, in fact, what's happened is many of our high-quality publications are not being picked up by NIRF. So, hopefully, next year, we should see a big jump in your NIRF this thing. I do believe, at this moment, looking at various metrics, that IIFT is probably in the top 5 or 6 management institutions in the country. It's probably number 1 in international business. There's no doubt in my mind about it. So from the point of view of the 3 metrics on which you can evaluate any institutions, teaching, research, and training, I think IIFT is now more or less there in most areas in terms of their achievements. Now, let me just mention some of the new initiatives I started when I came. There were 2 I want to mention. One is the MA Economics we started in 2018. The idea was to have a perfect synergy with the MA International Business, and the economics program also focuses mainly on international economics and finance, just like the finance MBA IB program. After 3-4 years, and this is a big credit to the department, we are now ranked number 6 in the country, looking at the REPEC ranking. That is, just behind Ashoka, Delhi School, and a couple of others. It is fairly sought after now. It is fairly self-sufficient. Of course, the fees are much less than the regular program. The fees are much less, but now they are sourcing their students. Students are being placed quite well in most research organizations, including areas like Niti Aayog, DOC, and now also in the private sector. The other initiative we took was in 2018, we started something called CNEST, Center for Northeast Studies, because we knew that at that time the government of India was making a big initiative in the Northeast. So we started the Center for Northeast Studies, the objective being to look at the Northeast states in terms of export potential. I'm happy to report that starting from 2020, when the Chief Minister of Assam inaugurated it, then 2021, the West Bengal government, and this year I myself went, and the CM of Nagaland inaugurated the export center that we created in these 3 states. We've had requests from almost all states. Now, this is not the usual kind of export center where you do studies and do research. We actually pick up entrepreneurs from these states, and we tell them that, look, what does exporting take? And you have the 3 steps: identifying commodities, then looking at the documentation required, and finally logistics, and how to understand these 3. And we are doing quite well. I think we are getting requests. As a consequence now, we are the only, CNEST is the only institution recognized outside the Northeast as a center of excellence by the Northeast. We're the only other one. The other one is IIM Shillong. Now, let me conclude, because time is limited, with just mentioning that we have tried to be as inclusive, being at least a semi-government institution, although not fully government. We have done what we can in terms of social awareness. You know that students over here know that is why we have a compulsory course where students intern at an NGO near you for at least one course, so that you get to be aware of how some of these poorer NGOs work. And that's one specific thing that we have. Last year we did a lot of things for in the COVID problem last year. We helped our sister hospital next to us by providing free facilities for their nurses to be able to avail 24-hour service. So we have been both community-wise awareness and social awareness. Let me now conclude in this limited time that we have by quickly saying what is the future. And of course, the future is well laid out in the strategic vision which the BOM has constructed for 2019-24. And I'll tell you what essentially the future is. Recently, I traveled both to UK and to US, and another team traveled to US to Singapore as part of the alumni exchange program. So the first thing is the alumni is much more willing to be part of the IIFT initiative than they were before. So I've involved them in 2 areas. One, I said, look, help us create a corpus. You can regulate how we spend it, but let's create a corpus and let 1 or 2 of you come forward to start startup culture. Merely taking money from the government to setting up a startup does not make a startup. You have to have someone for business helping it. The other thing is, and some of them are here today, we have asked some alumni to provide upfront money where we create special awards for students in the area of their choosing. Finally, one of the things I did was I traveled to UK, talked to a couple of universities. I also talked to 3 or 4 universities in the US, like Nebraska, then Florida International University. Then we also talked to Rutgers and some others regarding the new initiative which UGC now allows us. We can do degree transfers and we can do credit transfers and training program. It's amazing how keen they are. Just a week after I came back, the University of Nebraska's team has already visited. Florida International is already working out details of the transfers. I think from next year we can offer students something on that. And Rutgers is willing to talk about training programs with the undergraduate Kakinada program. So that is really, as the vision document of IIFT says, that is the way to go. That you have to internationalize and you have to be ready for the competition. Otherwise, at some point of time, same thing will happen to management institutions as happened to engineering institutions down south. So going international, competing, interchange of faculty, that's the way to go. Now, as I finish my term at IIFT, I wish that IIFT moves to greater and greater heights in future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for presenting the report and for the future direction. I now take this opportunity to introduce you to our esteemed Chancellor, Shri B.V.R. Subramaniam ji. Shri B.V.R. Subramaniam ji is a member of the Indian Administrative Service 1987 batch. He has done Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering from Delhi University, MBA from LBS, University of London, and Masters in International Law and Economics from World Trade Institute, University of Bern, Switzerland, with distinction. He has served in different capacities at various levels in the central and state governments. He has worked as Director in the Department of Commerce, as Private Secretary to the former Prime Minister of India, and has also served as Joint Secretary in the Prime Minister's Office. He also worked as Senior Advisor to the Executive Director in the World Bank, Washington, D.C. Also, he remained as Additional Chief Secretary in the Government of Chhattisgarh. At present, he is serving as the Commerce Secretary in the Department of Commerce, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. I would now like to request our Chancellor, Shri B.V.R. Subramaniam ji, to address the degree and diploma recipients and the August gathering. Sir.
Honorable Minister for Commerce and Industry, Shri Piyush Goyal ji, your Vice Chancellor of IIFT, Dr. Manoj Pant, members of the IIFT Board of Management, the Academic Council, Finance Committee, faculty members who are here, graduating students, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be here on this occasion. This is the second time I'm here. I was here last year. And it's so much fun to see a much larger crowd. The people who graduated last year were not allowed to bring their parents. So I think we'd give a big clap to your Vice Chancellor for allowing you to get your parents. I know that they're not having an easy time. There is a capacity constraint. There's a spillover outside. But end of the day, graduation is a family event. More than you, this is the day your parents look forward to. The photo opportunities is something they all look forward to, and this is going to go into their drawing rooms. I wish you all the best. I wish your families the best and wish you all success. This is a very special occasion. A special occasion for all the MBAs who are graduating, the people who are getting the executive diplomas, the masters in economics who are also graduating today. I think you're leaving the safe worlds of this environment, these four walls of this building or the boundaries of this campus, and going out into the real world. The real world is going to be quite challenging. It's not going to be the case studies that you're doing in the class. A case study in a classroom which you don't do well will get you a C grade or a D. A case study in real life, if you do badly, you'll get fired. So I think it's a much, much more harsher world. But I think IIFT has done a very good job in probably preparing you to face this real world. And I'm sure all of you have come through a very, very difficult process to get here so far and have done a very good, rigorous MBA program, will do equally well. I'm sure the Masters in Economics also will do very well in the real world. The demand for economists is actually booming. I am trying to recruit a lot of economists in my own ministry, and we don't get enough people. So I'm sure there's a bright out world there which is ready to accept you, receive you, challenge you, and push you to perform even better. I congratulate IIFT, the Vice Chancellor, the faculty, and all the other members that you have continued to maintain the top ranking of the school. It's been consistently a top 10 B school in India. And I've just told that it's one of the top 5 B schools in the world now, top 5% B schools in the world, as per the AACSB international ranking. I think that's important. Because at the end of the day, ranking really doesn't matter. But what it gets you is some kind of a recognition. If this college is actually getting 100% placement, a lot has to do with the brand that IIFT has generated over the decades. So the brand is what actually opens doors for you. How you maintain your job is dependent on you. But whether the job actually comes to you or not, very often depends on the brand that goes with it. And I think the institute has contributed a lot. And it's a matter of great pride that almost everybody, I think it's 100%, everybody has been placed and placed very early on. I've been told that a lot of you do very little in the last semester because most of you get jobs before the last semester begins. But actually, it's also a good time to reflect, because the last semester and the period after that is when you actually translate yourself and transit into the real world, which is a very, very different ball game altogether. I'm extremely happy to learn that the research and other stuff which is produced out of the institution is world class. Your journals are now rated. They're now indexed in Scopus. So I think that's a mark of excellence. And I urge the faculty to continue to maintain this quality. I've been told that the faculty size of both Delhi and Calcutta put together is just about 40 here and 20 there. And you're soon starting a new campus in Kakinada, whose classes are going to begin in September. I think some attention needs to be paid, and I would urge the management board to start looking at actually expanding the faculty. Because faculty is the one which engages in research. Faculty is the one which actually mentors students. It gets projects. So I think faculty expansion is something which is very important for the institute. The institute helps my ministry a lot. They're running 3 centers. There's a center for WTO studies, there's a center for regional trade, there's a center for trade and international law. And they're a part and parcel of the Commerce Department. They help us in negotiation. You have to notice that in the last year, under the minister's leadership, we have pushed rapidly into more and more free trade agreements. India is out there to embrace the world. We have established a strong country, an Atmanirbhar Bharat with a strong manufacturing base. And I think the time has come for India to open its doors and embrace the world with confidence. And I think that's the direction in which the country is going. We cannot be isolated behind walls. And I think as the country opens up, opportunities for you will also open up. And I think India is at the cusp of a change. As the Prime Minister says, Amrit Kal, that's about 25 years from now, 2047. What are we looking at? We are looking at a country which is going to be $30 trillion in terms of GDP. $30 trillion. I mean, I can bet you all of you will be good in counting the number of zeros that are there. But to actually envision what a $30 trillion economy is very, very difficult. It's more than the US economy as on date. It's more than the Chinese economy as on date. This is not PPP. This is real. A $30 trillion economy is going to be transformative. And the big thing is, we are going to go there. I mean, that's the strength of the country, the strength of the government, the strength of the institutions, and most importantly, the strength of the people which you represent. And the big thing is, this next year, the next 25 years journey is not going to be done by people like us. We are people with a past. You're all people with a future. You're going to build that new India. You're the people who are going to take this country from its 3 trillion today to 30 trillion. And I think this institution has endowed you with the skills, the capabilities, the intelligence to do that. And I think what you need now is confidence, drive, determination to do good for yourself. If each of you does good for yourself, the country in totality, as Adam Smith said, will actually do well for itself. So I think that's what I urge you. Dream. Dream big. Dream wild. Don't go into safe corners. I mean, you will have to take risks. If you don't take risks at your age, who will take risks? And you see the way the system rewards. The country has changed. 30 years ago, if I had wanted to jump out and do something, the environment was very different. Today, you're running into a totally new, different environment. You have venture capital chasing you. You've got private equity chasing you. If you set up your own startup, there's no shortage of money. There's no shortage of people who are going to mentor you. So I think that's the direction. And I think this country has seen a huge amount of success in terms of the number of unicorns. We're the second or the third largest concentration of unicorns in the world. And I think that's something to be proud of. And I'm sure as you move on, your seniors in the past and many of you now in the future will also be doing a lot of innovation, doing startups, etc. Many of you will probably do a lot of more mainstream jobs. Doesn't matter. But I'm sure that you can be agents of change. Bring in new things. As India opens up, it needs to be more competitive. And being competitive means more skills, more abilities. And I think that's something you will bring. And I think as leaders whom this institution has trained, you'll play that role extremely well. I'm sure that with your drive and determination, you will change the world. You will not only change India, you'll change the world. You'll take India to a new position in the rest of the world. I congratulate you. I congratulate all your parents for this lovely day on which you're all graduating. I'm sure you'll have a good time after this. There's a nice dinner outside, I'm told, which some of you will join. Some will probably go outside. But on this day, I only pray and I hope that you achieve your dreams and you leave your marks in history and leave your footprints in the sands of time. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir, for those encouraging words. Now, we will begin with the award of the PhD degrees, Management and Economics, both Delhi and Calcutta campus. I request our chief guest to present the PhD degrees to their deserving recipients. Let me invite Mr. Gaurav Kumar Barik on stage to receive his PhD degree for his work on Determinants of Inbound versus Domestic Acquisition, a study of Indian target firms. Now I invite Mr. Bijoy Talukdar to come on stage and receive his PhD degree. His work is on segmental differences and impact of supply chain performance on profitability in select Indian industry. I now invite on stage Ankita Kashyap. Her thesis title is Assessing Buyer-Supplier Collaboration and Sustainable Practices of the Organization. I now invite Kanika Dhingra to come on stage to receive her PhD degree. The title of her thesis is Determinants of Domestic versus Inbound Mergers and Acquisition, a study of pharmaceutical, healthcare and FMCG sector in India. I now invite Sunaina Kapoor to receive her PhD degree for her work on a study on impact of brand scandal on consumer attitudes. I would now like to call Sashank Shekhar Sharma to receive his PhD degree. His thesis is on enhancing revenue prediction, accuracy of experienced goods with sentiment and social network analysis, a case of Bollywood movies. Let me now invite Kashika Arora to receive her PhD degree. Title of her thesis is Post-Liberalization Analysis of India's Export Competitiveness and Technological Capability for the Manufacturing Sector. Congratulations to all of you. Now, we will begin with the presentation of some well-deserved medals and prizes to our achievers. Honorable Chief Guest is requested to kindly present the awardees for their perseverance and diligence they have shown as IIFT students. We will first begin with full-time batch MBA 2020-22. The gold medal for full-time MBA batch of 2022 Delhi Kolkata camp goes to Varun Maishwari. The silver medal for full-time MBA 2022 goes to the second rank holder, Adarsh Kumar Singh. The bronze medal for full-time MBA Delhi and Kolkata campus goes to third rank holder, Sanchita Gupta. The all-round proficiency award of MBA 2022 Delhi campus goes to Wasim Alam. The all-round proficiency award. Who will? The all-right proficiency award for MBA 2022 Kolkata campus goes to Varun Maishwari. Professor Sumitra Chisti Memorial Award. This award is given for the best performance in economics and trade policy courses of MBA IB. The award was established in 2006 to honor the memory of an outstanding faculty of IIFT, Professor Sumitra Chisti. For the batch of 2022, the award goes to Ms. Apurva Bajaj. Jyotiba Phule Gold Medal for Best Female Student of Full-Time MBA 2022 also goes to Ms. Apurva Bajaj. The Ornate Solar Award for Thought Leaders in Renewables, MBA 2022, Delhi Kolkata campus goes to Aditya Banerjee. PDS International Award for Excellence in the area of logistics has been instituted this year by IIFT alumnus, Mr. Manu Chopra. The PDS International Award for the batch of MBA IB 2022 goes to Adarsh Singh and Sarabjit Jena.
Now, we will move to the awardees of the weekend MBA program of the 2019-22 batch. Next, we have the awardees of the Weekend MBA Program 2019-22 batch. The gold medal goes to Vaibhav Gupta of the Weekend MBA Program 2019-22, Delhi campus. Let's welcome Shilpi Gupta to receive the silver medal for the Weekend MBA program of 2019-22 Delhi campus. The bronze medal Weekend MBA program of 1922 Delhi campus goes to the third rank holder Jaskaran Singh Narang and Parul Singh. We now have the awardees of MA Economics 2020-22. The gold medal goes to Pragati Dabas of MA Economics 2020-22 Delhi and Kolkata campus for securing first rank. A big round of applause, please. The silver medal goes to Aishi Sen Gupta and Kavya Benara for securing the second position. The bronze medal goes to Khushi Jain for securing the third position. Next, we present to you the awardees of Executive Postgraduate Diploma in International Business Weekend on Campus 2020-21. The gold medal for EPGDIB 2021 goes to Madhura Mukherjee. The silver medal goes to Rahul Sharma. Please give a big round of applause for Rahul Sharma. The bronze medal for EPGDIB goes to Shreni Satani. We now present to you the awardees of Executive Postgraduate Diploma in International Business. Now we present to you the awardees of Executive Postgraduate Diploma in International Business Hybrid 2020-21. The gold medal for EPGDIB Hybrid goes to Gunjan Kaushik. The silver medal for EPGDIB Hybrid goes to Vivek Narayanan. The bronze medal for Executive Postgraduate Diploma in International Business Hybrid goes to Vaishali Tawar. Let's put our hands together for all the achievers. Thank you, Honorable Chief Guest, for presenting the awards. And once again, heartiest congratulations to all the winners over here. We'd now like to introduce to you our esteemed chief guest. Honorable Shri Piyush Goyal ji is currently the Minister of Commerce and Industry, Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Textiles, and leader of the Rajya Sabha. He has also held the portfolio of Minister of Railways, Finance, Corporate Affairs, Coal, Power, New and Renewable Energy, and Mines previously. In his tenure as Minister of Commerce and Industry, India achieved its highest ever exports of about $675 billion in 2021-22. He led the signing of a free trade agreement with UAE, the fastest ever negotiated FTA globally, and the India-Australia Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement, India's first agreement with a developed country after a decade. He oversaw the launch of production-linked incentive schemes to bring manufacturing at the center stage and emphasize its significance in driving growth and creating jobs. As Minister of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, he led the implementation of the world's largest food security program, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana, by distribution of free food grains to nearly 80 crore people over 2 years, providing support to the poor, vulnerable, and weaker sections of society who were affected the most by COVID-19 pandemic. As Minister of Railways, India achieved the best ever safety record of 0 passenger deaths in rail accidents. The Power, Coal, and New and Renewable Energy Ministries led transformational changes in India's power sector during his tenure. Sir has also received the 4th annual Carnot Prize in 2018, recognizing the path-making transformations in India's energy sector. During his 35-year-long political career, he has held several important positions at different levels, in world's largest political party, the Bharatiya Janata Party, and is in its national executive. Sir has had a brilliant academic record as well. All India's second rank holder, chartered accountant, and second rank holder in law in Mumbai University. He was a well-known investment banker and has advised top corporations on management strategy and growth. He has also served on the board of India's largest commercial bank, the State Bank of India and Bank of Baroda. We now request our chief guest for his convocation address, please.
I think that was a bit long, wasn't it? Professor Manoj Pant, the Vice Chancellor of the IIFT, and at whose invitation we are all here, my colleague and Commerce Secretary in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Chancellor of IIFT, Shri BVR Subramaniam ji, Mr. Amit Yadav, Secretary Designate in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, also looking after the affairs of the IIFT, Ms. Satinder Bhatia, Mr. Rangarajan, Mr. Rastogi, other colleagues from different ministries who have joined us today, faculty members of IIFT, proud parents, many of whom could not, or rather I don't think any of them could not get place in this room, but are there in large number as I saw them when I came in. And of course, the main purpose for all of us to be here, the lovely students who have all assembled here, very, very good evening to all of you. It's indeed a very happy moment of celebration as each one of you graduates today. Different programs, different tenures in the institute, but one objective, gaining knowledge. As the Chancellor was mentioning, your institute certainly has earned a very good name, not only in India, but overseas as well. As the Vice Chancellor was mentioning, there's a lot of interest to partner with your institute. But clearly, the strength and dynamism of your study here is reflective of, as I just heard, 60 years of painstaking effort that has gone in. Thousands and thousands of students who have passed through the institute, done the nation proud, done the institute proud, serving trade in different fields across the world, and gaining from the rich exposure to trade that you get during the course of your study here. I think it prepares you for the tough ups and downs of trade, be it domestic, be it international trade. And therefore, as I was just told, almost every student coming out of IIFT gets a very good placement, gets a very good job offer. Many of them also look at entrepreneurship, starting their own business. All of this has been possible because of the rich curriculum that this institute has developed. Also a lot of practical exposure, summer training at different places. I don't know, why don't you send some of the kids to our ministry also? I think we'd be very, very grateful if some of the students could consider coming to the ministry. And I promise you, it will be a very, very enriching experience. Getting first-hand knowledge about all that's happening at the highest level of government related to commerce, related to industry, trade. But then 60 years is also a good time to reflect. And your Vice Chancellor just gave me a really big book. I don't know how I'll ever be able to go through it. So I was skimming through it. And you know, politicians can find the right place. Nazar thik jagah pe jaake tikti hai. So I found this page 880. And the title is In This Country. It's a Kannada small poem written by G.S. Shivarudrappa from and translated by Mr. G.S. Amur. But I'm only reading out to bring the pressure down and to make this a little lighter conversation that I would like to have with you. And from that, maybe pick up one or two threads which I want to speak about. But it's quite appropriate for us politicians. For many of you, when you get into the real life also, you will be faced with a similar situation. It says, and I quote, in this country, from top to bottom, everything should change. But the chair bearing me and the bit of earth beneath had better be where they are. This is what we'll all face in our life. We all like to be where we are. We are right. What we are doing is the right thing. My chair had better be secure. But everybody else needs to change. Everybody in the country needs to change. Everything in the country needs to change. But me. And I think that's the lesson of life that probably this poet is trying to share with us. Change is inevitable. And as circumstances change, we all better change. If we'll be rooted in the past, we'll never go ahead in life. In fact, the Honorable Prime Minister, from the ramparts of the Red Fort, as we celebrated Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, 75 years of independence, gave us some very good thoughts about the 5 vows, Panch Pran, which he spoke about. First of it is very relevant to all of us. All of you are going to be there in 2047 as we celebrate 100 years of independence. And therefore, the next 25 years, which we have looked at as the Amrit Kal, the defining period, and every nation's history has a period of time which truly defines its future. And we believe this next 25 years are going to determine the fate of this country, fate of our children, the fate of our families, the fate of the poor, the downtrodden, those who have been left behind and not got a chance that all of you in this room have got to study at a prestigious university institute like IIFT. But in these 25 years, it will be the collective effort of all of us which will change our beloved country, which will bring change in everything we do. In fact, as I walked into the institute, I was sharing with the Vice Chancellor that maybe it's time taking the second pran that Prime Minister Modi said seriously. Maybe we need to get out of this colonial mindset also. This is the part of the colonial mindset which we have inherited. I don't know what's the vote of the students in this room. Shall I take this as an affirmation that we need to change even this mindset of this old age fashion? Certainly we'll need to have a cap or something so you can enjoy the convocation and your graduation. But I think the rest of it could possibly be more contemporary. And I could offer the services of the National Institute of Fashion Technology. So it's a deal. Great. So my second convocation, actually the only university or institute where I've come twice. Normally after the first, I'd let somebody else take over. But I have a particular affinity for this institute, because I do believe this institute can move mountains, and your students and your alumni will have a very big role to play if we have to make India a developed country by 2047. That should be the collective aim of all of us in this room. And whatever we can contribute, like squirrels help make the Ram Setu. गिलेरियों ने मिलके तो राम सेतु बनाया था ना. Every single person's contribution matters. It could be big, it could be small. People make mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. Things evolve. But end of the day, every one of us contributes. That's the collective effort of the nation, which will take us to prosperity for 130 crore Indians. And therefore, I would urge all the young friends at this convocation, you have been empowered by the quality of education and, of course, by the sheer dint of hard work that each one of you put in as students of IIFT. But it's a crucial time now, when you are giving back to society, to the nation, and of course to your families also. As you get into the real life, as you start facing real challenges, as you start reflecting on what you had studied in real life situations, you learn new things, you'll unlearn a few things also. Because the Vice Chancellor assured me that the curriculum is quite contemporary. It's very relevant to current day trends. But I do think as you enter into the real life, one must always keep at the back of our mind that each one of us sitting in this room is a privileged person, has had the privilege of being a part of IIFT, as have, I'm told, roughly 48,000 students, alumni from IIFT over the last 55 years. And I think the collective energy that these 48,000 students can bring to the table, can offer in nation building, can be phenomenal when we are trying to integrate our economy with the world. Clearly, as some of you may have studied, no part of the world, no country in the world became a developed nation without engaging in international trade in a big way. Those countries which closed their doors worked only within their own ecosystem, restricted engagement with the rest of the world, have never really prospered. Maybe a rare case or two. But it's those countries which went out into the world, competed on equal terms, competed on price, on quality, on delivery, on service. They are the countries who have been successful, who have prospered, who took prosperity to their citizens' day-to-day lives. And therefore, as we are looking at restructuring, resetting our own way of working, even within the government, So the Commerce Ministry only today has released a 13-volume document prepared by one of the top consultancies in the world in collaboration with the ministry to revamp the entire structure of the Commerce Ministry, to make ourselves more relevant to the times, to make ourselves modern, to be able to work with the rest of the world. Similarly, I think organizations will also have to, institutes, universities, colleges, education, all will have to relook at what we are doing. And that's the whole purpose of the new education policy. It's to change what has been happening for years and years. It's not about change of curriculum as much as a change of mindset. And along with that, of course, using digital technologies and modern tools to give high quality education, even to the remotest corners of the country. And therefore, with your permission, I'd like to make a few suggestions. I'll start with something that I hope you will all like. I would like to suggest, do you have a students' council here? I hope it's a vibrant body. Who's the president? Is he here? You. What's your name? Srujan. Srujan means creation. Wonderful. But you'll be graduating, right? So we'll make you a mentor. Who will be the incoming Students' Council president? Oh, wonderful. So Nari Shakti, in any case, Nari Shakti has been in full display in the honors. What's your name, beta? Suniti Venkat. So great. Now I'd like to task you, Suniti, with a word. It's not in my powers, but I would like to urge the management committee or is it a board of governors? Board of management. So I'd like to urge the board of management to consider at your next meeting, which should be held at the earliest opportunity, if possible within this month, and sanction 10 crore rupees to the Students' Council. I'm sorry I have not taken the approval either of the Chancellor or the Vice Chancellor, so please don't let me down. But I'd like that fund better to be used based on your customer feedback, and your customer are your students, right? You could even ask the alumni to give you some suggestions based on their life at the campus and see what needs to be done to make this a more buzzing campus, to make it more exciting. If there are any facilities that need to be set right, if there's any improvements in your canteen, which is a very, very important place to be in, at least during student life, what needs to be done in terms of maybe upgrading any of your existing facilities, and of course, the new convocation uniform. The rest of it, the modalities, please work out with the Vice Chancellor and your faculty members. But I do think, having come here for the second time, and please keep in mind you have a Kolkata campus also. Please don't discriminate. भेदभाव मत करना. नहीं, अगर भेदभाव होगा तो मेरे ऊपर राजनीतिक आरोप भी लग सकता है. Thank you. So that was the first thing that I wanted to suggest, Vice Chancellor, with your approval. Great. Another suggestion, if I may make to the Board of Management, I don't know. आपने mask पहना हुआ है तो I don't know whether you're happy or sad. I'm very delighted, and I was just making some inquiries. You might be wondering why I was talking. I was not doing any small talk. I was just trying to learn a little more about the institute. But I was delighted to hear that admission at IIFT is need blind. They don't take your financial parameters into consideration when they give you admission. And that's wonderful. That's how it should be. But there may be some students who get an opportunity to get admission, but may not have the means to be able to afford this admission. And therefore, there may be many students who would otherwise be competent, would be otherwise able to get admission, but looking at the fee structure, may not even be applying, may not even be sitting for the entrance exam. And in order to make sure that need blind genuinely results in everybody, so even from the bottom of the pyramid, even from remote areas across the country, from the Northeast, from any aspirational district across the country, we'd like to see more and more diversity on this campus. And therefore, the institute will be instituting loan scholarships so that any child who doesn't have the ability to make payment for fees or for his living expenses, they'll do the necessary formalities and the working of the scheme. But no child, and I mean absolutely no child, should be denied an opportunity to study at IIFT at any of the campuses for inability to pay tuition or living expenses. And since I'm told that most of you get very well paying jobs in the region of 30-35 lakhs, 2025 starting, ठीक है, तो आप तो लोन रिपेमेंट 3-4 साल में ले सकते हो. I'm sure it will not be a very difficult thing to be able to repay in say 3 years. Even if your starting is 25, I think by the 3rd year, if you don't even rise to 35, फिर तो ये education में ही कुछ flaw निकलेगा. And अगर अभी 25 है, तो I can assure you with more diversity, you will be enriching the lives of the students so that by the time I come, if you invite me for the next convocation, you'll be able to report that starting salaries have gone up to 35 lakhs. I would also like to suggest, is that one too many? Or is it okay? All right. I'd like to suggest we look at an international syllabus in a campus. Maybe we could start it at the Gift City. You know, at Gandhinagar, we have a Gift City, which is India's first international financial services center. If we can put together a team of faculty members, if possible, maybe some of the students who were just now receiving medals, if you could spend a little time to give back to your alumni, to your alma mater, if you could devise a syllabus, I don't know how long that'll take, when you can start, but do the modalities. But if we can start an international syllabus, which focuses on international trade, international quality of education, maybe it could even be a dual degree. Now with the new education policy, we are encouraging institutes to confer dual degrees in partnership with foreign universities and colleges. You yourself mentioned about some engagement with Nebraska and things like that. I would, of course, urge you to look at more well-known universities across the world. I'm sure, given the quality of students and the high quality of education that is imparted at IIFT, we could certainly look at some very prestigious universities with whom we can tie up for dual degrees. We could start at the gift city so that there's an international flavor. Students could be encouraged to spend part of the time at the campus abroad, part of the time at the campus in India. And if you want later, you could even do that in Delhi or Kakinada or Kolkata. But do consider a campus in the gift city, because you'll be preparing students who will, in my humble opinion, get grabbed by organizations and institutions which are coming in big number at the gift city. And then your median or average salary, I assure you, will take a big jump. So that could be another expansion program that could help you reach newer people. Finally, I would urge you to look at your alumni association getting some teeth. And may I request some of the alumni present here to please take this up in mission mode. Can we get these 48,000 alumni, or as many of them as possible? But certainly let's cross the 35,000 mark and get the alumni coming into the directory or website that you have created and see how they can contribute both to their alma mater and to nation building. In this digital world, and certainly with the lessons learned in COVID, a lot of things are hybrid. And I think alumni, wherever they may be, in whichever part of the world, even if they were to give 1 day in a week, 1 day in a fortnight, 1 day in a month, their education plus their real life experience combined can be a game changer for our students, can help us give them real life experience. And you know how you will benefit? You will be able to pick up some of these bright kids when you engage with them, when you are interacting with them over maybe your online classes, or if you're able to fly down to Delhi or Kakinada or Gandhinagar or West Bengal, you'll actually be able to engage with your successors, if I may call them, and pick up some of the bright minds here, which could help in your work, wherever and whatever you are doing. So I would urge the Alumni Association, and I hope every one of you who is graduating today will be a part of this Alumni Association by tomorrow. Is that okay? It's all on the website, right? So just at least do the effort tomorrow while you are celebrating and everything else to take membership of the Alumni Association, and let's try and make this a vibrant family across the world. And there's a lot of dynamic power in such a family. Please be comfortable. There's a lot of power. You know, when you'll be traveling to different parts of the country or going abroad for your work, you'll have a directory where you can connect with your institute's alumni. It'll help you in your work. It'll help you feel more comfortable in newer areas. And in the times of need or any difficulty, I assure you, an alumni will always be ready and willing to help, as I hope you will be to the other alumni or to the students of the institute. So please look at strengthening the Alumni Association. I think that will be a great contribution during Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and that will help us in the next 25 years as we are looking at growing our international trade, and we are not looking at the normal routine growth. We are looking at growth by leaps and bounds. So the target we have for the immediate future is to increase our exports of goods and services from $675 billion last year, that is about 50 lakh crores, which is itself an all-time record, to at least 3x, that is 2 trillion by 2030. That's the immediate goal. It also shows you the opportunity for all of you. And going forward, I think this will expand manifold. Because the moment you cross the cusp or the inflection point, then things grow even faster. So I would urge each one of you to become a part of this movement. And in this Amrit Kal, the next 25 years, see how we can all work towards a prosperous India. Friends, a lot of work is happening in the country. A lot of issues are there across the world, which we are grappling with. But I do hope that as each one of you leaves this institute with your degree, with your education with you, you will go with tremendous belief in yourself. Those who believe in themselves, those who believe in their country, those who believe that they have a role to play in the future of their country, those who believe that they will contribute to our beloved nation, they are the ones who are most successful, who will go forward, who will achieve big things in life. I could go on and on, but that same poetry in this country, and since I don't accept mementos, I think you were smarter to get me a book. In the last para of this poem, gives me my cue, and you'll understand as I finish. In this country, people should stop talking and be quiet. But the rest of it is political, so. But the words I speak must be heard always and greeted with applause. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful and inspiring address. Thank you once again. I now request Head, Graduate Studies in Management Division, to seek permission from the Chancellor, IIFT, for the conferment of degrees.
In this 55th Convocation, 605 students will be graduating out with degrees and diplomas in different programs. So I seek your permission, sir, that the degrees and diplomas be conferred on them. Thank you, sir. So degrees and diplomas are deemed to be conferred. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much, sir. I now request Professor K. Rangarajan, Head, IIFT's Kolkata Center, to propose the vote of thanks, please.
And please keep this in the laptop.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Giniji. God wants us to know that life is a series of beginnings, not endings, with or without pandemics. Just as graduations are not endings, but commencements. अब जो पत्थर है, आदमी था कभी. इसको कहते हैं इंतजार मियाँ. इसी ख्याल में हर शामें इंतजार कटी. इसी ख्याल में हर शामें इंतजार कटी. वो आ रहे हैं, वो आए जाते हैं. आपको और इंतजार नहीं कराते हुए इस अवसर में धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव आपके समक्ष रखने की अनुमति चाहता हूं. सबको इस सुनहरे शाम का अभिवादन. Chairman of the ceremony, Shri Subramaniam,
esteemed Chief Guest of the Convocation, Honorable Minister for Commerce and Industry, Shri Piyush Ji Goyal, Vice Chancellor of the Institute, Professor Manoj Pant, distinguished invited guests, board members, faculty colleagues, officers and staff, passing out graduates and their parents in absentia, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. As we move towards the close of this ceremony, it's my pleasure to extend a word of thanks to all who have made this occasion memorable and grand success. This convocation is a memorable one in the history of IIFT, as it marks the 55th Convocation and celebrated in the Diamond Jubilee year of the institution. On this occasion, let me first express our deep and heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry, Shri Piyush Ji Goyal, for his exhilarating address. I'd like to quote from Tirukural, "Insolal idalika vallarku tan solal tan gantanadathil ulahu," meaning thereby, with pleasant speech, who gives and guards with powerful liberal hand. He sees the world obedient all to his command. So his liberal words and exhilarating address deserves an attention and applause. We are grateful for the presence of our Chairman Shri B.V.R. Subramaniam, Principal Secretary and Chairman IIFT. Shri Subramaniam Bharati, the renowned Tamil poet and freedom fighter, writes, "Ettai tudaipadu kayyale, mana veettai tudaipadu meyyale, வேட்டை ஆடுவது வில்லாலே அன்பு கோட்டை பிடிப்பது சொல்லாலே," meaning thereby, the slate would be cleaned by hands, the inner self would be cleaned by the truth. A good hunting would be done by a bow, and a castle of love would be caught by words. Sir, we thank you for conquering the castle by your words of wisdom. Post-pandemic, all of us at IIFT tirelessly were not only involved in getting accustomed to the new normal, but also in our routines. The activities and satisfying outcomes, which were earlier reported in detail by our Vice Chancellor, "Yata chittam tata vacho, yata vachas tata kriya." As is the mind, so is the speech. As is the speech, so is in the action. We profoundly thank our Vice Chancellor, Professor Pant, for his scholarly reporting of the Institute's activities, which integrate mind, speech, and action. कुछ लोग किस्मत के तारे होते हैं जो दुआओं से मिलते हैं, और कुछ लोग दुआओं की तरह होते हैं जो किस्मत बदल देते हैं। हम हमारी सभी किस्मत बदलने वाले दुआदार शिक्षकों को धन्यवाद देते हैं, जो कोरोना काल में भी कोरोना मान के काम करते रहे। The faculty team, dean, chairpersons, heads of the divisions and departments of both Delhi and Calcutta campuses deserve special thanks for their contributions in taking the institutions to further heights. मेहनत इतनी खामोशी से करो कि सफलता शोर मचा दे. Thanks to the action-packed placements of the batch, the corporate placement advisor, Professor Mehtani, Professor Sharma, and the excellent student placecom body are also fully acknowledged on this occasion. There are 6 programs, the students of which have graduated today. The success of these programs are mainly due to the program directors and program associates who actually run these programs. We are thankful to all the program directors and their associates for their hard work and efforts. The administrative staff of both Delhi and Calcutta, including the computer cell, library and examination cell, provided enormous support. We are thankful to all of you, and I would like to specially mention the role and support given by Dr. Bibek and Dr. Sarthi, erstwhile controller of examinations, Mr. Bala, Mrs. Kavita, and Mrs. Omshri, and Mr. Abhijit in smoothly completing one more academic year successfully. Let me also express our gratitude to members of the board, academic council, past faculty and staff of the institute, alumni, and others who are present here. The media provided us the required and continuous support. Please allow me to express our sincere gratitude to all representatives of the media present on this important occasion. I would also like to extend a special word of thanks to the proud parents, relatives, and friends for the support they gave to our students throughout their studies. The IIFT family is thus very pleased and proud to share and celebrate this day with you. In closing, let me congratulate the graduates and thank you in advance. You leave this ceremony today with a duty to uphold the good name of this institution as your alma mater. ऐसे तो जाऊंगा नहीं. मैं पत्थर पर लिखी इबादत हूं जिसे कब तक तोड़ोगे, मिटने वाले में नाम नहीं, तुम मुझको कब तक रोकोगे. मैं सागर से भी गहरा हूं, मैं सागर से भी गहरा हूं, तुम कितने कंकड़ फेंकोगे. चुन चुन कर आगे बढ़ूंगा मैं, तुम मुझको कब तक रोकोगे? And I hope all of you will be able to go forward the way in which it is suggested. It is our hope that wherever you are and whatever you do, it will reflect positively on all of us. Yes, I know it's not time to be more philosophical. हम न बदलेंगे वक्त की रफ्तार के साथ, जब भी मिलेंगे अंदाज पुराना होगा. दिल की धड़कनों को थाम लो, दिल की धड़कनों को थाम लो, जरा सब्र से काम लो, जरा सब्र से काम लो. आ जाएगी आपकी चेहरे पर भी मुस्कान, आ जाएगी आपकी चेहरे पे भी मुस्कान. चलो जरा प्यार से मेरा नाम लो. मत और न समझना, मत और न समझना, मेरा नाम है IIFT. इन्हीं शब्दों से इस प्रस्ताव को विराम देता हूं और इस सब्र के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. बेस्ट विशेस. जय हिंद.
Thank you, sir. So our chief guest would be leaving now. IIFT family is really grateful to him for his gracious presence on this occasion. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you once again to our honorable chief guest and the Chancellor, sir, for being. We will begin the award of degrees and diploma in a couple of minutes. All of you be seated, please. Be seated, please. We will begin with the award of degrees and diploma in a couple of minutes. Remain seated, all of you. We are about to begin with the conferment of degrees. All of you sit down, please. Take your seats. It is now time for award of degrees. I will now request our Vice Chancellor, Dean, Head Kolkata Campus and Head GSM to kindly present them to the graduating students. I will also request the program directors to call the students of their respective graduating batches on stage to receive their degrees. We will begin with the award of MBA IB degree to the 2020-22 batch of Delhi campus, and for this I will invite on stage Program Director of MBA Delhi Program, Dr. Ashish Gupta.
Good evening, everyone. Settle down fast. Abhinav Dhoke. Abhinav Sushant Kujur. Aheli Mitra. Alok Kumar Tyagi. Amarth Kumar. Amok Chaudhary. Anirudh Sagar. अविनाश वैश्य, आयुष चतुर्वेदी, ब्राइसलीन डिसूजा, देवमित्र भौमिक, इतिश्री साई सृजन, एकता कुमारी, हिमांशु गुप्ता, इम्मा मोनिका रेड्डी, करण आडवाणी, लक्ष्य मल्होत्रा, मधुरिमा घोष, मानसी शर्मा, मोक्षित वर्धन मंथती, नरेंद्र लांबा, निखिल बासिना, निवेदिता, प्रणवी घोषा, प्रत्यय पीयूष, प्रियंका दास, रचित मकदानी, रजत भदौरिया, राजीव कुमार, ऋतुम गोयल, संदाका जीवन संतोष यादव, शिल्पा एस नोबल, श्रेया सहगल, शुभम सिंह तोमर, सिद्धांत मडवरिया, सौम्यदीप वैद्य, श्रीमानी सेन, शुभम धर, सुहास तड़ाका, वंशिका पुंडीर, विष्णु प्रसाद, यशवंत सिंह देशवाल, अभिषेक श्रीनिवास, अमन अरोड़ा, आनंद अय्यर, अनन्या जिंदल, अनुपम अग्रवाल, अरविंद रंजीत, अर्जीना खान, अविलाश नायक, आयुष दुबे, अनीश दामा, देवम पटेल, हर्ष नायक, इप्सिता मिश्रा, रितेश कुमार, मल्लिका अस्थाना, नमिता जॉर्ज, संजना पडोरे, रौनक साहा, रेनी केतन शाह, रितेश कुमार, समीर संतोष, समरथ, सौम्य अग्रवाल, शाश्वत गुप्ता, श्रेया शुक्ला, सिद्धार्थ अग्रवाल, सौमेंद्र कुमार, स्तुति राकेचा, सुमेधा भट्टाचार्य, स्वरूप साहू, तुणिर्षा सरकार, वैभव प्रताप सिंह, विजय मीना, विकास प्रसाद, यश रस्तोगी, यथार्थ नाथनी, आकाश, आकाश कुलश्रेष्ठ, अभिषेक सिंह, अग्निश भट्टाचार्य जी, अजय माथुर, साईं अभिषेक अल्लाम, अमित हर्षद बोरडिया, अनिरुद्ध सेठी, अंशी डालमिया, आशिम नंदा, अवनी ढोकले, अविनाश कुमार, आयुषी इंगोले, चिन्मय चोलकर, दीपांजन रॉय चौधरी, हर्षिता बोलनी मुंता, जीता भट्टाचार्य, शुभम काबरा, प्रशांत काटूरी, मंदिरा विरदी, मेरुगु कौशिक, नमन भार्गव, निकिता गुप्ता, कारुण्या पेंटपल्ली, फणी तेजा वेमुलपल्ली, प्रज्ञा जैन, प्रणव बुचके, प्रणय अरविंद आंबुलकर, रावी पाटी अविनाश, हर्षिता वर्मा, हरतेज सिंह, कनिष्क आनंद शर्मा, किंशुक बत्रा, गुंजन कुलकर्णी, मानसी सक्सेना, नवीन राज, प्रदीप कुमार सिंह, प्राजक्ता फाटक, प्रतीक नेमिनाथ शेट्टी, Raghav S.B., Richa Kashyap, Sahil Yadav, Sanchi Soral, Sandeep Das, Sanyukta, Saurabh, Sheetal Barthwal, Shekhar Suman, Shriyanshi Baduni, Shubham Agrawal, Shrikar Sondarpalli, Shubhojit Basak, Tejashri Vaidya, Vedant Bundelu, Virat Arya, Yugant Swarup Nayak. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, for the award of MBA IB 2020-22 Kolkata batch, I would like to invite on stage Dr. Naman Sharma.
Thank you. A very good evening to all of you. It is my personal pleasure to invite the batch of 2022 on the stage, starting with Ashna Pant. Abhinav Datta, Abhishek Rai, Akash Saha, Amit Kumar Roy, Ankit Prasad Singh, Annabelle Ekta Yonzon, Arunangshu Bhattacharji, Asit Kumar Sahu, Bhanu Teja, Chunduru Venkatesh, Ekta Bihani, Kasi Vivek, Keshava Olla, L. Anand Rao, M. Sai Surya Girish, Manish Yadav, Mohit Harish Chandra Deshmukh, P. Krishna Chaitanya, Okay, somebody is okay, thank you. Porush Bhandari, Prashansa Padiyar, पुलकित अग्रवाल, अभिजीत राकड़े, रेवतकर मायूरी रशेष, ऋतु मेहंदीरता, पिनांक मनीष कुमार, संबरू पवन कुमार, शार्दुल सुशील सहारे, शुभम दमीजा, सुहानी लोहिया, स्वाति पवार, उदित जोशी, वैभव सिंह चौहान, यश शर्मा, अभिषेक सिंह, अहाना मुखर्जी, अक्षय देवीदास, अनिर्जित मित्रा, अंकित शुभम, अंशु चतुर्वेदी, अविचल सिंह, दीक्षा लालवानी, गौरव कुमार, ऋषिकेश एमके, के प्रणीत, कौस्तव साहा, किरण मालिपोगु, क्षितिज भाटिया, लोकेश संजय दाखने, लोकेश संजय दाखने, मधुर अग्रवाल, मयंक गुप्ता, आदित्य पराग, मोहित कुंदाल, निशान ठाकुर, अक्षय देवीदास पांडे, श्रेया ग्रीश. So you made it, huh? So you made it. प्रदीप सिंह, प्रशांत सुमंत भानगे, प्रिंस तिवारी, पुलकित गौतम, रामानुजम आर, रोहन चड्डा, तेजा आदित्य संक्रांति, स्थानका बाबू, शशांक सिंह, श्रेष्ठा चोपड़ा, सुरभि भूयान, श्वेता एस, तेंजिंग जॉर्डन, उदित राणा, उत्कर्ष दीपक, वी अनुराधा, वेदिका केदिया, आयुष बागरेचा. So now I know your name. Right? Now I know your name. Abhishek Agarwal, आदिनाथ शैलेंद्र, अजय कुमार पारिक, अक्षय राजन, अंकित गुसैन, अंकुर सिंह, अनुष्का सिंह, अशय राज, आयुष कौशिक, आकांक्षा चौबे, दीक्षांत राज, दीपू कुमार सिंह, गायत्री रामचंद्रन के, हलवी अरविंद, हर्षित रस्तोगी, ईशान सिंह, कलिंग किशोर, कौस्तुभ कुंबरे, कीर्ति राजेंद्र महाजन, खूना मनोज, लोगेश बाबू, माही बडोला, मयंक कौशिक, निखिल सिंह गंगवार, नितेश सिंह, पंकज मिश्रा, पयाला रवि किरण, प्रतीक सिंह माहौरी, प्रीतम मलिक, राहुल कुमार चौधरी, रवि गुप्ता, ऋषभ, रोहन कुमार, शिवम मल्होत्रा, श्रीजय नायक, सौविक दास, सूरज एस, टी अपूर्वा सिंह, तुषांक शिवम, उमा रानी, वैभव मेहता, वनिका मांगला, यशस्वी पंत, अभिषेक कुमार, आदित्य पराग, अजय जैक्रिया, अमन जैन, अंकित निर्वाण, अर्जुन मिश्रा, आश्रय बालकृष्ण, आयुषी तिवारी, चेतन सिंह, वेंकट एच सूर्य तेजा, ग्रीष्मा रवि नायर, हिमांशु प्रकाश, ईशिता श्रीवास्तव, MVNS तन्मयी, भरत चंद्र, निपुण वेज, प्रणय अग्रवाल, प्रवीण शर्मा, रजत अश्विन भाई, रविनूर सिंह चहल, रोहित भूषण कुमार, साक्षी गुप्ता, सार्थक होटा, शिवांगी दत्त, श्रेयांशु खरे, स्वागत समांता, तमल सरकार, तुषार जुल्का, उमर शरीफ, वैभव रविंद्र, यश वानी, and Zoheb Makhani.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, all of you. For the award of degrees to Weekend MBA IB 2019-22 Delhi campus, I would like to call upon stage Professor Pooja Lakhanpal, ma'am. Please give way to ma'am. Side, please.
So congratulations to the batch. I'm starting with the names now. Ayushi Malik. Batch, please clap for your batchmates. Abhishek Sharma. Anshika Srivastav. Anshuman Gupta. Anup Pandey. Anup Pandey. Aritra Chaudhary. Arvind Gupta. Ashirwad Mehta. Ashley. Congratulations. Ashutosh. Ayush. Dipali. Devang. Devesh. Gaurav. Gaurav Ban. Harsh Kalra. Harshvardhan. Karan Jha. Madhav Gupta. Navdeep. Neeraj. Paramjeet. Congratulations. Soumya. Shivam. Shobit. Congratulations. Suhani. Saurabh. Saurabh Asthana. After Soumya, it should have been Saurabh. Saurabh. Now Shivam. Shobit. Is Shobit single there? Gone. Done. Suhani. Sukeshi. Vikas. Yatish. Kashish. Osama Zaid, approve, not there, hey, approve is there, approve Sukhdev. Yeah. Okay, congratulations to all, well done. नहीं
Thank you, ma'am. Now, to present degrees to the MA Economics 2022 batch, Delhi campus, I invite Program Director, Professor Jaideep Mukherjee on stage. Sir.
Good evening and congratulations to the MA Economics batch. So let me read out the names. Arushi Goel, Arushi Goel, Hasrat Chopra, Ishan Sharma, Khushi Arya, Moksh Bansal, Pushpendra, Shankalp Nayak, Shreya Sinha, Trimit Chatterjee, Anusha Gupta, Preeti Jain, Arushi, Grontha Banerjee, Samarth Khurana. Okay, congratulations to all of you. No, I can't do it.
Thank you, sir. Now we request Professor Devashish Chakraborty to please come to the stage to present the degrees to MA Economics 2022 batch.
Wish all the very best to the graduating students in the 55th Convocation, both MA and MBA batches. MA Kolkata Economics batch, let me have your attendance for the last time as the PD. Orgho Nandi, Arnab Roy, Charulika Sharma, Dishari Dashgupta, Piyasha Mojumdar, thank you. Samvit Mukhopadhyay, Shohini Roy, Vicky Kumar, Vidisha Das, Shreya Mrityunjay, Anushka Chawla, Daksh Thugral, Shweta Kansal, Pranav Mittal, and Alisha Goswami. Wish all the very best to all of you.
Thank you, sir. Now, for the award of diplomas to EPGDIB on campus 2021 batch, I would request Dr. Giri Chawla to come to the stage. On campus EPGDIB. Excuse me.
Many congratulations to all the participants on my and Dr. Sonu Verma's behalf. I now invite one by one all the students. Ashish Kharbanda. Abhimanyu Kumar Gautam. Aditya Anal. Thank you. Akshit Khanna. Thank you. Thank you. Amit Kumar Singh. Ankur Kanda. Anshul Chugh. Congratulations. Anurag Mishra. Charanjit Singh Uppal. Hemant Gusain. Karishma Saxena. Kshitij Aryan. Manbir Singh. Mayank Verma. Neha Juneja. Nikhil. Nitin Jain. Piyush Joshi. Prateek Saxena. Puneet Singh. Rahul Singh. Ronak Kundra. Ruby Kumari. Shashank Pawar. Shubhashish Biswas. Siddharth Day. Sumit Verma. Vikram Singh, Abhilash Hazra, Abhishek Kumar Tiwari, Akhil Boni, Anilesh Jain, Anuj Gulati, Arjun Datta, Aviral, Chetan Tripathi, Himanshu Sharma, Kamal Dagar, Kuldeep Singh, Mahima Sharma, Manu Saraswat, Nidisha Mehta, Nidisha Mehta, Nirbhay Kumar, Pinkul Wadhwa, Prateek Mittal, Prateek Shrivastava, Sahil Khurana, Saurabh Kango, Shretika Kaul, Vaibhav Gandhi, Varun Rathi, Vikas Goyal, Vinayak Malik, Akshat Khandelwal, Harsh Bajaj, Divyansh Rai, Dolly Sharma, Ashish Sharma, so many congratulations to you all once again. Wish you a fulfilling life. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Lastly, for the award of diplomas to EPGDIB Hybrid 2021 batch students, I would like to invite Dr. Priyanka Jaswal on stage.
Many congratulations to the participant of EPGDIB Hybrid 2021 batch. So I'm announcing the names. Abhishek Sharma, Akash Kashyap, Ankit Raj, Deepak Kumar Joshi, Hari Sai Prasad, Hina Sani, Kumar Manvendra, Kumar Sachin, Kumar Sachin, Natasha Mahesh, Nikita Chahal, Prashant Biswal, Prince Gehlawat, Sahil Jain, Suman Mondal, Vishal Gyanendra Singh, last but not the least, Muhammad Faz, and many, many congratulations and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Professor Rastogi to seek Professor Rangarajan's permission to conclude the proceedings of the convocation.
Sir, with your permission, can I close the convocation ceremony? The convocation ceremony stands closed. Thank you, everyone.